very good morning to all my students. Children, welcome back to Olympiads session, and today I'm here with some more practice questions from your lesson Living Organisms and Their Surroundings. Okay, so let's see one by one. You can see here, environment consists of which of the following things? So environment basically consists of what different components? Like we have only biotic components. Do we have only biotic components? What do you mean by biotic components? All the living things, living organisms, they come under biotic components of environment. Only abiotic components, that means all that is non-living, that come under abiotic components of the environment. Or both A and B, both biotic and abiotic. So, environment, that means the surroundings in which we live, consists of both living and non-living components, right? We have air, we have water, we have soil, all these come under abiotic components of the environment, whereas biotic components, we have different living organisms, different plants and animals. Together we call it as, biotic components, we can just call it as flora and fauna, children. Flora means plants and plants, different kinds of plants, and fauna means different kinds of animals. So biotic and abiotic together. So what should be the option, children, here? The option should be C, both A and B. So see here, D option, only plants and animals. Plants and animals, they form the biotic components of the environment. So just to confuse you, he has given you like that. It contains both biotic, that means living, and abiotic, that means non-living things also. So C should be the right option. Got it, children? Which of the following is represented by X in the figure below? So such questions are also very common nowadays. So you can see that terrestrial ecosystem. Terrestrial means land ecosystems, and basically there are like forest ecosystems, desert ecosystems, and what is X? You need to choose an options from the given number of options. So you can see A, ocean, B, grassland, C, island, and D, snowland. So you can see here ocean and all aquatic ecosystems. It comes under aquatic ecosystems. Grassland is there. Island also does not come under terrestrial ecosystem. Snowland also is not a correct option. So B, grassland, because terrestrial means mainly land, children. Okay. Which pair has not been correctly matched? That means which is mismatched, which is wrongly matched. So camel, desert, we know the habitat of camel. Camel lives in desert, okay, perfectly adapted for desert habitat. Germs, air, okay, germs are present in air, that's also a correct match. Whale, river. Polar bear, snow. So polar bear, we know that they are found in polar regions where there is a lot of snow. But whales, are they found in river, children? No, they are found in oceans and seas, isn't it? So that's the wrong option, mismatched option. Next, pick the odd one out. So you can see there are 4 options given, and out of that, one is not related to the others. Snail, fish, grass, river. So if you see, all these 3 are biotic components of the environment, as I told here. Biotic means they are living components of the environment, whereas river is nothing but abiotic, water, right? So it's an ecosystem entirely, separate ecosystem. So we can say that this is the odd one out. Let's go to the next one. Which organism depends on abiotic component for food? Which organism depends on abiotic components for food? What is an abiotic? What are abiotic components, children? Lifeless or nothing but non-living components. So which of these depends on non-living components? What are the abiotic components? Just now I taught you. They are nothing but water, sand, minerals, rocks, air, all these come under abiotic components. And which of these do you think depend on these abiotic components for food? Insects, do they feed on non-living components like stones or water or air, simply just on air or water? No. Even birds also, they don't simply depend on rocks or water, just air, water and rocks for food. We don't, isn't it? Fish also, it feeds on algae or some small zooplanktons or smaller organisms. Plants depend on abiotic components because through that only, through sunlight, through carbon dioxide, through minerals only, they serve as food for plants, right? So, plants depend on abiotic components for food. Am I clear, children? Okay, let's see some more questions. Now coming to the sixth question. Which animal can be placed in group Z? So you can see here, these kind of diagrams are called as Venn diagrams, children. So they are called as Venn diagrams, and they show some relationship and interdependence among the different groups. You can see X is completely one group and Y is another group, and Z shares common features of X and Y. Okay, so it's related to both X and Y. So which animal from the given options do you think should be placed in group Z? What is X group? You have to see first of all. Learn and study the Venn diagram carefully before going to select the options. Animals that live on land. X belongs to that group of animals which live on land. Y is that group of animals that live in water. So now Z shares the qualities of both X and Y. Okay. So that means it is a group that lives both on land and in water. So now you select from the given options. Birds, do they live both on land and in water? No. Shark, they don't live on land. And frog, yes, they live both in water as well as on land. Dog, it cannot live in water. So what should be the right option? C is the right option, children. The seventh one. In order to stay buoyancy. What do you mean by buoyancy, children? The ability to float. Okay, some organisms, nothing but some animals, aquatic animals, they have the ability, the capacity to float, to swim, okay, without getting they don't sink down. Instead, they float. That's nothing but called as buoyancy. So, in order to stay buoyant without getting drowned, some aquatic animals have a thick layer of fat. So this is what exactly helps the animals to float or to be buoyant and prevent them from drowning or sinking. So you can see here the options are under their skin, in liver, in kidneys, in flippers. So where do they store their fat in order to stay buoyant? It's the right option is under their skin, children. Okay, they form a layer under the skin so that they remain floated. Eighth one, which adaptation helps the cactus plant to minimize the loss of water? You see that here is a small picture of the cactus, one of the kinds of cactus plants, and you can see that the broad things, leaf-like things, are actually not leaves. They are stems that store a lot of water. Okay, and the needle-like things that you see are actually the leaves, children. So they grow in a desert habitat, and in order to minimize the loss of water, you know that in desert you don't find much water. So the plant has to conserve, store some water in it in order to survive. So if it loses more amount of water, it cannot survive. So it has to save water. To minimize the loss of water, what is the adaptation that a cactus plant does? Okay. A, needle-like leaves. You see that the leaves are needle-like shaped, needle-shaped. Broad leaves. Do cactus have broad leaves? Those are actually stems, so it's wrong. Branched stem, No matter if it is branched or unbranched, doesn't matter. Fibrous roots, that is also not the correct option. The correct option is needle-like leaves, because leaves tend to lose water because of a process phenomenon called transpiration, right children? So in order to minimize this loss, the leaves are modified into needle-like structures. So that's why the needle-like leaves is the correct option for this. In which of these, the ninth one, in which of these habitats animals have thick fur? So thick fur, you see that some animals have a very thick covering of fur actually. So in which habitats do you find them? A, grasslands, mountain, desert, ocean. The correct option, what could it be children? It is mountains, because they should it helps, that thick fur helps them to protect from the extremely cold climate or weather. Okay, so this is the right option. So see you again with some more questions from the same chapter in next week children. Okay, until then, please, if you wish, you please write down all these questions again at the back side of your science homework. It will really help you in the long run. Okay children, bye.